We're going to keep the crime theme going, and our next author is Donald Levin. So welcome, Donald. The Zoom screen is all yours.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you all for joining us today. I also want to thank Stephanie and the Detroit Writing Room for putting this event together. I'm sure we all appreciate it very much. The book I'm going to be talking about is called In the House of Night. It's the 7th book in my Martin Preuss Mystery Series. And like all the books, there's a continuing cast of characters, but the books are standalone. Each book has its own mystery, has its own crimes, has its own secrets to be unearthed, and you don't have to read them in order. Many people like to read them in order just because that's what they like to do, but you can tap into the series anywhere along the way. This is the 7th book, and the latest book, maybe the last, I'm not sure. The main character in the series is a man named Martin Preuss. He started out in the series as a detective in the Detective Bureau in the Ferndale Police Department, a fictionalized Ferndale Police Department, I should say. I live in Ferndale, so that was a location of convenience for me. In the first couple of books, he's a detective, and then he retires from the force around book 4, and then he becomes a private detective in books 5, 6, and 7. So he's a private detective as we meet him in this particular book. He's a widower. He has 2 sons. One is named Jason, who is sort of lost in America. He's 20 as the book, actually he's older than that now that I think about it, but he's run away, he's disappeared. So he's been out of touch for a few years. His other son is named Toby, who is a profoundly multiply handicapped young man who's in his late teens. And I like to think that in this book and in the series as a whole, the loving relationship between Martin and Toby is sort of the heart of the endeavor. Toby is Preuss's grounding. He tries to teach him, Preuss tries to learn from Toby everything that he can. He starts to learn Toby's wonderful patience, his kindness. Toby is as he's profoundly handicapped, he can't speak, he can't walk, he can't take care of his daily living skills. So he lives in a group home because Martin Preuss can't take care of him by himself. He can't take care of all of his needs with his crazy schedule. But Preuss visits him every morning, visits him every evening, spends as much time as he possibly can with him. And as I said, Toby is the rock of the series. Toby is everybody's favorite character. And I like to think that I sort of wrote this for Toby. Toby is based on our grandson, whose name was Jamie, who is unfortunately no longer with us. But this is an opportunity for me to keep Jamie alive in all of our hearts and to try and explore how much he meant to me and to everyone whose life he touched. So these books are not just about the mystery. They do have their mysteries and they do have their secrets to be unfolded and unearthed. But I think of them as examinations of character and society seen through the lens of crime. So they're very character driven. They're very plot driven. Each book has its own crimes that it uses as a starting point to open up into larger crimes and larger social issues. I began writing in the House of Night last summer. And the impetus for me was the events of the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, which I'm sure everybody remembers, the white supremacist rally where one of the members drove his car into the crowd and killed someone. I saw with concern and with horror, frankly, what was happening with the rise of the right-wing white supremacy movement. And I was very concerned about how it was reaching through all levels of society. It was getting more and more visibility. It was getting more and more validation, including up to the highest points in our own government. I was very disturbed by the racism, by the anti-Semitism, by the misogyny that was demonstrated by these different groups. So I wanted to take a look at them at a point before they started to expand throughout the culture, which they started to do basically with the Trump administration. So the book is set in 2013, and it hits at a point where it hasn't, the white supremacy movement hasn't sort of exploded yet, but is percolating under the surface. So the plot follows Martin Preuss, who is asked by a rabbi and a priest to look into the murder of one of their friends. This man is the one who was murdered is a retired history professor at Wayne State University, fictional, of course. This is all fictional, even though it's sort of based on reality. And in the course of his investigation, Preuss visits sites across the metropolitan Detroit area. He goes to the Peace Center downtown in Grand Circus Park. He goes to a Buddhist center. He goes to a homeless encampment. He finally, as he narrows in on his search, and I'm not giving away any spoilers, but he gets involved in this sort of storm of white supremacy that's gathering. So he gets involved with these characters who are not very nice people. People ask me, do I have a law enforcement background? And I actually don't. I was a professional writer for 20 years, and then I went back to graduate school to get my degree. And for the last 25 years or 20 years, I was Dean of the Faculty and Professor of English at Marygrove College, which unfortunately is now defunct. But I retired in 2015 before it became defunct. And now I'm pretty much writing full time. So as you can see, I hope the book is very timely, and they're available. All of my books are available at Toadvine Books in Berkeley, with the exception of the new one, because it's so new. I just launched it in October. This is available through my website, www.donaldlevin.com, and also through Amazon and through Barnes & Noble, and on order through bookstores. I think I'll end it there. If anybody has any questions.
We do have a question from Nan. Nan, go for it.
Yes, Nan.
Okay. Over the course of the time that you've been writing about Martin, has he changed in any ways that were a surprise to you?
That's a great question. You know, our characters always surprise us if we let them. He has gone through a number of life changes. As I said, he started out as a police detective, and then he got in sort of hot water with his superiors in the department through no fault of his own. His father-in-law, his ex-father-in-law, was the chief of detectives of the Detective Bureau, and blamed Preuss for the death of Preuss's wife / his daughter. So things became sort of untenable for him ultimately. And he surprised me because he decided he wanted to retire at one point. He surprises me when there was a burgeoning relationship that he had with one of his colleagues, Janie Cahill, and he surprised me when he sort of backed off from that. I had planned for them to get together, and he didn't want to do that. He does. You know, if you give them their head, these characters will surprise you and will take you places where you didn't think they were going to go. That's the fun part of writing, I think.
Okay.
And that's why I don't outline everything that I do. You know, in the vernacular, I'm a panther. You know, I start out with the sort of general arc of where the story is going to go, and then the characters tell me what they want to do and where they want to go and how they want to go there.
Anyone else have a question?
No? Well, thank you again. I appreciate your putting this together, Stephanie. And I'm interested to see what my colleagues on the screen have to say.
Thank you so much, Donald. I'm so glad you're here.